Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
Hello again. I'm Town Councilman Frank Mauriello, here with another edition of Colonie Close-Up. I'm here today with Craig Blair, who is the manager of the Town of Colonie Golf Course, John Risler, who is the golf course superintendent, and Noel Gebauer, who is our golf course pro. And earlier this year, we had filmed a show on the golf course, and we talked about many of the changes, enhancements, and improvements that we were making. We thought we'd follow that up with another show to just let everyone know what type of progress we've made. We've made a number of changes, and we've had a very good response from all the enhancements that we've made at the course this year. So what I'd like to do is start with Craig Blair, our golf course manager. And Craig, tell me a little bit about the progress we've made. Tell us about the number of rounds that were played, and is it up over last year, and if so, by how much?
Well, Frank, it's been an excellent year as far as I'm concerned, especially being the golf course manager for the first year. It's been an interesting one. We started with extreme makeover, went through snow in March, and it's been a very strange year. Our rounds are up 26% over last year, and checking the records today before we came down through October 15th, we are probably going to push around 65,000 rounds this year, which is the highest we've had, I believe, since in the mid-90s, which is excellent. A lot of that is because the course is in great shape due to John, because of Noel's diligence in trying to bring more people in and working. We've done a lot of changes inside. We brought in, as we mentioned back in May, we brought everything inside into the pro shop. So now you come in, you get your greens fees and your cart and your range balls all right there in one spot. That works both ways for tournaments also. Now it's just one check pays for everything, or credit card. We take credit cards now also. And we've also brought about some changes as far as how the course is set up, what we do, what tee times you have, so on and so forth. We've tried to educate some of our staff a little bit better. We've done a number of changes to increase the round of play, pace of play, and also the experience of coming out to play for the golfers.
Okay, let's put this in perspective a little bit. If we're up 26% this year over last year in rounds, and it looks like we'll do about 65,000 rounds this year. As a whole in the industry, how are other golf courses faring? What's the trend out there in the industry?
The trend is stagnant or somewhat lower than last year, which is a good point that you bring up. Something's happening. There seems to be, from all the articles you read and all the other information that's out there, it seems to be that there is an abundance of golf courses. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, everybody started building golf courses. As you know, around probably in a 50-mile radius, there's a couple of new golf courses that came about over the last few years. There's only a certain number of people to play golf. They've got a variety of places to play. What has happened is, I think, because of the quality of the course, thanks to John, and because of the way that we've tried to make our changes this year, we've drawn these people into the town of Colonie. Noel and I, at the beginning of the year, sat down and put out a game plan of what we were instructed to do was try to increase rounds. Basically, the business sense is good product, good price, good service. And that's basically what I went by, what Noel went by, and what John went by. And I think that the public sees that. The price for us to play golf for a resident, even a non-resident, is a very good bargain. And as I said, the course is in great shape. We've had people that didn't play for years for whatever reason, went to other golf courses, came back and said it's a great experience. The course is in great shape. We've even had people that belong to private country clubs that have come out for some of the tournaments that we've had and said, we didn't realize, so it really is an asset to the town that's there now.
That's great. No, thank you. No, it's important that people understand, that the game itself is somewhat stagnant as far as the growth is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to grow our rounds by 26%.
And
That's
also,
phenomenal.
the weather plays a very important part of it. In April, when we went into the 1st of May, we were 6,000 rounds below last year. So that really puts it in perspective of what we did from May through October 15th. And I think John can verify, the month of July was like the rainiest.
Yeah, we probably had over 8 inches of rain. It affected the way we were able to maintain the course and some of the playability issues. But most of the rain came during non-golf periods, so it didn't affect too much the number of rounds, but we had some periods where we were battling some disease issues. There were some times that we had to keep carts on the path because it was just too wet and there'd be some damage that would take place. But overall, the weather in this part of the country was pretty exceptional. And to mirror what Craig was saying, I think nationally rounds are down about 3%. They're up from last year in our region because last year was such a terrible weather year. But when I heard 26%, I was a little bit astounded that we're up that high, because talking to other golf courses in the area, superintendents, they say they're up, but not near as much as that. So.
Okay, well, that's great. That's great. Now, Craig, I know also this year you've made some changes where you've rotated some of the nines that people
Yes.
play on. How did you do that?
Well, that was something that the three of us came up with. And I don't want to take credit all for it, but well, for all the years prior to this, when you call up for your tee time at 8 o'clock, you were playing red, white, or red, green, or red, or blue and white, and blue and green. What we decided to do this year was to rotate them a little, give everybody a little bit of variety. So it would normally be red, white, blue, and green would be the crossover, and that would be closed from 8 to, say, 11, and then that would be a crossover onto there. Then for 2 weeks we ran that, and then we would do blue, white, green, and then red would be the crossover. So it gave everybody a bit of variety that, they got to play. I know the group that I usually play with, we used to like to play red and white all the time, and it gave us a variety. We got to play the green for a change, which, we never played because we didn't like it. Now we kind of like it. Everybody has their favorites, but we rotated it, and part of the reason we rotated it was to help with the maintenance of it. For years, when you did it this way, red, for example, was always being played all day long. Now we gave John and his crew the capability to have 3 hours to work on it. And
Right, there's some things that we were able to do this year that in years past we would have had to really jockey the tee sheet to get those things done. For instance, this year we did a pretty extensive drainage project on the fifth hole of the white, and because we were able to have that as the white crossover, we knew that they wouldn't get to the white 9 until, say, 9 o'clock, and they wouldn't get to the fifth hole till probably a little bit after 10. So we were able to start work at 6 o'clock and get 4 to 5 hours worth of trench dug and backfilled before the golfers really were hitting into us. And we continue to work while they're playing. We don't stop our maintenance for that, but it's just it's easier to do it on a golf ball hazard standpoint, and also we're out of there a lot sooner for them, and they're only dealing with us for a little bit of time compared to several extra hours. So it's definitely been an improvement, and we're looking to continue that for next year. And I know possibly on the weekends there are some issues with say when the green is a starting 9, it slows play up a little bit because it is a little bit more of a challenging 9 because of the tightness of it. And we're talking about possibly going to on the weekends the traditional red, white, and blue start with the green crossover. I think it'll fit into the mix of accommodating the golfers and also giving people the variety during the week.
Yeah,
So.
it really works great for the player that would come out, say at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, where traditionally the only place they could have got a time at that time, because 3 9s or crossover 9s, would have been on the red. Now, there is still just one 9 that they can get it on, but every 2 weeks it's going to be a different 9. So it could be the white, then 2 weeks later blue, 2 weeks later green, and then that rotates. So if that's the time that you like to play, you were really just playing red and white, in the past. Now you're able to play, all 4 9s.
And also get
depending
the
on the week you
leagues.
come out.
When the leagues were
Yeah.
playing there too, every 2 weeks they were playing a different 9. They really liked it, and I think actually Noel can speak to this, but they were actually wishing they could do it every week. So they were
Yep.
playing that 9 just once a week. So but it's been a success. It was a little bit hard maybe for the staff to get used to in the beginning, but I think once it really got into full swing by say end of May, it's been embraced, and it's something that and I've heard it from golfers since probably my first couple of years there. Why don't you try to rotate it around a little bit, because then you could do a lot more. So even the golfers realized that by making this switch, we can improve the golf course a little bit by doing that, and it's worked out well.
And all I ever receive from people are compliments about the condition of the course. The course is in great shape, and everyone's very, very pleased with it.
Well, we've had a great year for that, weather-wise, and and Craig keeps saying, John's got the course. I just want to thank my staff, Steve Bogdanowicz, my assistant superintendent in particular, and from the full-timers to the seasonal full-time workers to the guy that just comes in on the Saturdays and Sundays to either mow greens or set up the course. Without them, we would really be nothing. So my hat goes off to them, and they've done a great job. I've been there for I think this was my 9th season there, and every year things get a little bit better. We have a pretty solid core group of guys. Even with the part-timers, they come back every year, and they give me their heart and soul. We're out there in all kinds of weather, and we're looking forward to putting the course to sleep for the year, and getting it ready again with some of the things we'll do over the winter for next year.
Now, you brought up a good subject, and that is leagues. This is the first year that we had league play at our golf course, and Noel, tell us how successful was it?
Gosh, I think it was successful on a bunch of fronts. I know now, getting the feedback from the leagues, that their season's come to a close, and we're getting a lot of letters, phone calls, as I try to get their status for 2008, whether they're coming back. They were very happy, pretty much without exception, with having the league program there. What it did, it took the golfers that normally would play the Colonie Town Golf Course and gave them a way to put it, to get times on the golf course without having to fight the phones or to come stand in line. They would guarantee us, say, 16 weeks, and they knew that spot was going to be there for them at a specific time. They knew their group was going to play together. I think we were a little unusual because I think we were one of the only golf courses that didn't have leagues at that time, and now we've fallen into that. It's a very successful program. It's easier on our staff, which is great. We don't have to and take all those phone calls. We know who's coming on a certain day from the standpoint of you get to know the people. Like our Tuesday staff knows the players that come out in the Tuesday leagues. I guess the tricky part is making sure there's a good balance between the league play, which has been very successful and very well received, and also having the available times for the general public that likes to come out and play.
Now, you rotated the nines with the leagues, and that seemed to go over very well?
Yeah, that went over great. I mean, they were able to play a different 9 every 2 weeks. So you'd play and there are some leagues that actually like to rotate it every week, but some leagues liked it every 2 weeks because they said, oh yeah, we get 1 week to kind of get used to, say, the red, and then the next week we're playing it again, and then they go to the white for 2 and the blue. Mm-hmm. So that worked out well. So if it was a 16-week league, which is the kind of the normal league season, you'd get to play all the 9s, 4 times. And it worked out.
Now,
great.
are there any openings, league openings for 2008, and what changes are you making this year or next year with the leagues?
We do have openings. It depends on the time of day and the day. Will depend on if we have an opening for a particular league. We do have a lot of openings, say, in the 3 to 4 o'clock time frame, and even earlier than that. We're always looking for morning leagues. That's good for a lot of players that maybe have night jobs, businesses. They'll have morning leagues, so we're looking for them, seniors or retired people. We have certainly plenty of room for them. There are some hot times for leagues, like a Tuesday afternoon, a Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, that we are full, and we're trying to keep that balance so that a player that comes out, or a foursome, say, that isn't part of a league, they still have an opportunity to get their tee times like they've always had, and it's a great luxury to have 36 holes to be able to do that. I mean, we can really service both league play very well, plus your normal public play very well. And as far as changes to the existing leagues, we're certainly going to work really hard to try to keep pace of play moving. In a league, it's a very difficult thing, or in a league situation, because everybody's playing, they're keeping track of their score, they're trying to play by league rules, whatever that may be for the particular league. So it does take longer, but we want to keep trying to bring that time frame down. I'm trying to work with all the league secretaries to try to help them along and give them ideas on how they can get around the golf course faster in a good time frame. About 2 hours and 15 minutes for 9 holes would be perfect. And that's what we're striving for. We're also trying to space out the leagues a little bit so that they're not all on one 9. We're trying to get them spread out so that the public can also get onto some of those 9s that were being taken up by the leagues. And plus the leagues will move over into a different 9 so that'll help the pace of play as well. So that should work very well coming up for 2008.
Okay, and I know this year we hosted a number of tournaments. What were some of the tournaments that we hosted?
We had quite a variety of tournaments, actually. We had, I'll start with the club tournaments that we had. The club championship itself was very well attended. I think we can even grow it more. It was bigger than it has been. We did a nice job. Doug Kilmer's our club champion for this year, and he did a great job. It was a very successful event. Stephanie Hanley's our ladies club champion. She played great. We brought back the Saul Greenhouse tournament, and for those people that don't know, Saul Greenhouse was very influential in getting the golf course up and running back in the late '60s. There was a tournament that was named after him that was held at the golf course for years, and it had gone away, and we brought it back this year, and we started with a small field, but we're hoping to grow that because the guys that played in that really enjoyed that a lot, and we're going to try to keep that growing. Coming up, we've got something brand new, kind of a challenge match between Capitol Hill's Albany's municipal golf course. We take our best 10 players, and we're playing their best 10. And Matt Bogdanowicz, my assistant, and I are going to play Steve Vader and Paul Engel, who are the golf pros at Capitol Hills, and we're going to have a fun match. That's actually coming up the 3rd week of October, and it's going to be great. We're going to try to do well there. So we've got that tournament, and then we've got those types of tournaments, our club tournaments, and then we've got the outside tournaments that come in, and from everything from charity events to reunions to all kinds of. I think we did over 60 of those type of events this year, ranging in size from 280 players, which I believe we're the only golf course that can facilitate 280-person tournament where everybody tees off simultaneously in a shotgun on all 36 holes. We did that back in June for the state tax department. And then, they could be as small as 16 players, the tournaments that come in. So we can cater to all sizes, and we certainly enjoy doing that. We enjoy being involved with tournaments that have a charity attached to them. It's a lot of great causes. We're benefited by the tournaments that played at our golf course, and we're really happy to be a part of that. So that was great. And again, there's a balance there too. We want to try to do, as many tournaments as we can, and be involved with that. But also, we want to make sure that the golf course is available for the residents to come out and play, and get their tee times like they want to and like they're used to getting.
Okay.
One of the other things, it's not really a tournament, but something else we did was on the holidays, the shotgun.
Yes. Yeah, the holiday shotguns were very well received, and the idea behind them is to get someone out in a shotgun at 7:30 in the morning. We did them on Memorial Day, July 4th, and on Labor Day. And shotgun, of course, is where you start everybody on different holes, but all at the same time. And we're able to get 120 players off at 7:30, just on 2 of the nights that we use for that, and get everybody in off the golf course by noontime, so that players can go be with their families or do whatever else they have planned for on that day. And we had a lot of compliments on just being able to do that, and it's something we do plan on going forward with, and possibly trying it on another type of day, on another weekend day, where we think it might fit in.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you very much. John, I want to go back to you because you started to talk a little bit about winter maintenance. At this time of the year in the fall, you must be preparing the course not only for the dormant winter season, but also for the opening in the spring. So what are some of the things you do to prepare the course for winter and next spring?
Well, actually, the process started way back in August. last week in August when we started our aerification process. This year we aerified 18 holes the end of August, and then we moved on to tees and fairways. We actually just finished our last set of fairways this past week, and we'll be aerifying the white and the blue 9 a little bit later this year for a couple of reasons. We wanted to try to prolong the quality of play for a lot of the golfers, because they were very happy with the conditions this year. We wanted to try to keep them going in that way, but and we'll see if it affects how they recover and things like that. Then we'll revisit that.
Now, for those that don't understand aerification, what is it and what does it do?
Well, there's several types of aerification. The main type that we use at the Colonie Town Golf Course is we're core aerifying, where a machine will go over, for instance, the greens. It'll punch a hole about 3.5, 4 inches down and pull up a plug of soil. And what we do, what we did on the greens in August on the red and the green 9, because their soil quality wasn't all that bad, is we dragged those plugs back in, broke them up, blew the thatch off to reconstitute the soil back into those greens without having to add a lot of extra sand. The white and blue 9 they're a little bit heavier soil. They're probably known as a push-up green, where they just moved all the native soils from around the area when they built the course and seeded on top of that. And because of that, they drain very poorly. When it rains, they'll hold the moisture and we'll start thinning out turf. So we're going to this year we're going with a little bit bigger hole size, and we're going to try to really fill the holes up with sand. That's one of the hardest things for us to do. We don't really have the equipment to get the sand in sometimes when we're trying to get them back open to play. If we had more time to do that, we'd be able to fill them more, but we're hoping to get a little bit more sand in, get a little bit more percolation so the greens will dry a little bit after a rain event, and things like that. But it's something that's very, it's probably one of the worst things that a golfer will hear about when he comes to a golf course. They just aerify it today. But if it doesn't happen, you have a buildup of thatch, which is, you need a certain level of thatch in the green, but the amount of organic material in the green, if it gets too high, it will promote certain diseases. It doesn't allow the greens to dry, so we need to get rid of that, and that's probably one of the best ways to do that.
Now, how long does it take the ground to heal once you've aerified?
Well, in August, I'd say the greens that we did in August, they were probably healed fully, where the golfers didn't see any effect on their ball roll about maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks. You can still see the aerification holes, and right now, because the roots are deeper, because we broke up some of that compaction, we gave the turf a place to send down the roots, so they're going into those holes, so that grass is a little bit deeper green. It's getting a little bit more nutrient, and the water uptake's a little easier. So you do see that. But fairways, we started doing the fairways, and I would say after a week they were healed up that you couldn't even tell they were aerified. So it's a necessary evil, I want to say, but as a golf course superintendent, you kind of dread doing it, but once we're into that process, it's a kind of sense of pride that we got through 36 holes and everything was done, and you accomplished probably one of the most time-consuming tasks that take place on the golf course.
So now this is done once a year?
It's done once a year at the town, but there's some courses in the area that do it twice a year. There's some courses that do it with possibly maybe not as involved with the removing of plugs and putting sand in the holes, just real thin tine.
And you start this process at the end of August?
At the end of August, right.
And how long does it take before it's completed usually?
Well, typically in years past we would get all 36 holes done on the greens in 1 week. The tees this year, because of the rotation of the 9s, we were doing 9 holes a day. So it took us just it took us a week to do the tees. And fairways, we got it down to we were probably getting 9 holes done in 2 to 3 days, depending on weather. We had a couple days where the sun wasn't helping the plugs dry, because we break the plugs up there. If we come to a wetter fairway, Then we're picking the air firing plugs up, which on a 2-acre turf area, those are a lot of plugs that pick up. And we have a machine that goes along and plows them up and shoots them into the back of a little truckster, and we stockpile them, and we'll use those plugs to fill in low areas in the rough. We're in the process of building a little chipping green next to the putting green. A lot of people will use the putting green to chip on, and it wasn't really designed for that. So we want to build another green area so that they can chip to, and we want it to be just like the putting green. So we're going to be building with the plugs that we use from the greens to build another green. So, but.
And what are some of the other things that you do to get the course ready for winter? I know you have to put down certain chemicals.
Right, there's certain
fertilizers.
There's certain diseases that can be very detrimental to the golf course in the winter. Pink snow mold is, and a lot of people in the town probably see it on their home lawn. So if we'll probably be putting that out in the middle of November. We'll put a fungicide out that will hold us through the entire winter. The irrigation system needs to be blown out, and that takes, with the number of heads that we have, it usually takes about a week to get all the water out of that system. Because if left in there, the pipes will freeze and crack. I mean, I know we spoke about this in the last show about all the irrigation problems I had. It wasn't because the water was in there; it was because the frost got so deep and heaved the things. But you need to get the water out, or we'll be in for a lot of trouble.
And I remember you saying that you had to replace a number of heads too, sprinkler heads.
Yeah, I think we were up to last count, probably about 150 of them. So, we didn't replace the heads, but we had to dig them up and fix pipes underneath. So, it was an enjoyable spring.
Okay. Now, Craig, I just wanted to go back to you and ask you, what are some of the changes that you're anticipating for next year?
Well, I'd like to say a lot of them and tell you what they are, but in case they don't come to fruition, I don't want the public out there thinking, well, you said you were going to do this. But again, the rotations we're looking at, we hope to have some type of systems in place for the tee sheet to speed up your experience inside the pro shop, getting your tee time when you come in, paying for it, and getting back out on the course in a relatively painless situation. We anticipate new range balls, having better range, or I shouldn't say better, but maybe longer range hours. We're trying to improve the range again with John's staff and his help. Management of just the overall management of the golf course is, we've got a lot of things in store. Whether they come to fruition or not, we don't know. That's why I don't want to let the cat out of the bag and say what it is. But I think the people that came back this year and the regulars, whether they were seniors or young people or students or whatever, realized that there were some changes this year, and hopefully for the good. And people that came back that stopped coming to the course for whatever reason over the years and came back saw those changes also, and anticipate more changes for next year. It's a work in progress, just like John's is on the golf course every year. It's a work in progress, and every year we anticipate more and more changes as we go along, and take baby steps, and I think the public will enjoy it.
And what I'd like to do also is just mention Chip Shots, our restaurant in the clubhouse. And Craig, you've had a lot of interaction with Chip Shots. They are open Friday evenings, and believe they have entertainment on Friday nights.
Yes, they do.
And
And
you see me sing every now and then.
Karaoke, they have karaoke.
Some nights they're good, some nights they're not. It all depends on the karaoke singer. Yes, Chip Shots is there. They have the food service out on the golf course, so when you come up to the 9th hole, you can use the call box and phone in, and then when you make the turn, they'll have your food ready for you. And they do have entertainment on Friday nights, and they've catered a number of our tournaments for us. They also take care of the snack bar between the red and white nines, so that if you're playing those, you can get something to eat right there. We've just been talking to them. They anticipate opening that even more next year, putting some tables out there. The problem that they have, it's not a problem, but you don't want to slow down play either. You don't want people coming around that force them in front of you, sitting down and spending a half an hour to eat while holding you up. and then you have to fit them back, the starters have to fit them back in. So they walk a kind of a tightrope there to give you the food, but also kind of push you on your way to keep going. But they've done a tremendous job this year, and we hope to do even better with them.
I understand they also have the NFL ticket.
Yes,
So-
that's
so-
something new to me. So I don't know if anybody else here knows more about the NFL ticket, but that's something they started this year, and
And
it
they have
seems to
a-
be very successful.
They have a number of TV monitors
Yep.
there around the bar, so I'm sure they broadcast a number of games. there.
And I'm sure during the winter, you know, they're going. I'm sure the Super Bowl Sunday will be a big one, and they'll have, I'm sure, basketball and the sports. It's kind of like you say, with all the TV that they have there. I'm sure during the winter they're anticipating having weekend openings to sandwiches and libations.
And Noel, just wanted to come back to you real quick. I'm wearing one of your shirts, one of the new shirts with the new logo.
Very nice.
And they're very nice shirts. Just want to know, what do you normally do for the winter? How long is the store open? Give us an idea of what you do, how you spend your winter, and what you plan to do with the pro shop.
The winter time is a very busy time, believe it or not, for myself and for Craig and John too. It's we're in there, we're helping tournaments get booked for 2008. We're getting the league set up. Definitely, I'll be down at the merchandise show, the PGA merchandise show in Orlando in January, looking at all the new equipment, the things to fill the shop with. I am excited about the new logo. I think that'll look great on some clothes for next year, and hats and things like that. So the shop, it'll do well. It's a great place. I try to keep my prices right in line with all the big box stores. It's tough for a little guy, but I do the best I can, and try to give everybody a nice selection. So I'll be working on that this winter. Another thing that may also happen is hopefully I'm going to be putting a net up in the clubhouse in the front room up by chip shots, and we'll be giving lessons indoors, so players can come out, and because I'm going to be in and out so much, you certainly can get a hold of me at the golf course all winter, and we'll do a little teaching and get everybody's game in shape for the spring.
Indoor lessons is a very good idea. It's a very good idea. What, how can people contact you to book lessons?
It'll be right at the golf shop number. We'll be answering that. If we're not answering that, what we can also, there'll be a number on an answering machine that they'll know how to get to me. Also, I have an email which is on our website. So if you go to the town website, you can email any of us at the golf course, and my email address is on there, so people can certainly get a hold of me that way, and I'll get right back to them.
Okay, great. Now I was thinking about these shirts make great Christmas gifts.
Yes, they do, and hopefully we'll have a nice long golf season, and the shop and the course will be open pretty close to Christmas.
Okay, great. No. Well, Craig, just one last thing. If you'd like to give our audience the phone number to call for calling in
Sure.
tea times,
Sure.
pro
It's,
shop and such.
It's 374-4181 or 374-4182, and call anytime. As Noel says, I'll be there. If we're not there, we have an answering machine that'll take, give you a message as to, what the hours are, or Noel, how you can reach Noel or myself or anything like that. We've got a lot of things in store for next year. All I can say is everybody keep practicing with Noel during the winter, and come on out and see us next year and see the changes.
Okay. John, do you have anything you'd like to say concerning the winter?
Well, we're going to continue as long as we can. There's some drainage projects that we have in the store, any tree work that needs to be done, and I'm actually meeting with someone from the Audubon International. We're going to try to get the course to become a certified Audubon sanctuary, which will look at a lot of the environmental planning and wildlife habitat reduction in chemical use, water quality, water conservation. And there's a lot of things that we've been doing at the town for many years, but just getting all of that on paper and documenting those things, I'm going to actually be working with the staff ecologist in the next coming weeks. He's new to Audubon. Jim Slater will be coming over, so he'll be kind of getting a little in-service into what he needs to do, and I'll get a little in-service from him for what we need to do to become certified. But it's a win-win for everyone involved. I'm excited about it, and like I said, we've been doing things environmentally sound, I feel, since I've been there, and you know, it's something that I think the town can you know, be proud of when, in fact, it does occur.
Now, the Leicester Sports Complex, which is right down the road from you on Console
Yes.
Road, which is home to Colonie Girls Softball and Colonie Soccer Club, they are Audubon certified,
Yes,
aren't they?
yes. Pat Blum, superintendent at Colonial Lakers, who is one of the dads over there, is he's one of the leading people in the golf industry nationwide. I mean, he's gotten just about every single award that you could imagine from the Golf Course Superintendent Association of America. He's gotten environmental awards from New York State, and to have him involved over there, you know, was just such a great thing for not only the club but also the town. And I believe they were the first sports complex like that was a certified course or a certified club. So, you know, hats off to Pat and his continued efforts.
Okay, well, we look forward to that. I think that'll be great. And I'd like to thank Craig and John and Noel for being with me today. Any questions concerning the golf course, please contact anyone. If you have any questions concerning the operation, call Craig. The course itself, John, the pro shop, or any issues concerning lessons, give Noel a call. And I thank you, gentlemen, very much. And we'll see you on the next edition of Colonie Close Up.
Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.